Right here I have the scooter that you're looking for.
What's up everybody, my name is TJ. Today I'm going to be reviewing this VELOFLOW VF3 electric scooter. Now this thing is absolutely amazing and this thing goes off-road in the dirt, the gravel, pavement, grass, snow, you name it, and this thing can do it. Now we have 10-inch tires and we have shocks in the front and the rear that is going to buffer about 80% of the roughness on the terrain that you're riding in. Now first off, this thing looks incredible. It has the LEDs on the bottom with the RGB lights that just cycle through a pattern. It looks so cool and it brings a ton of attention to the scooter. We also get this beautiful orange accents going all the way through. We get a huge deck size. My foot is size 9.5 and it fits perfectly on this deck. Super wide and really grippy. On the back, we're even gonna have a spot for your foot. So if you are riding a little bit more of tougher terrain, so you can put your foot back there for some stability, or you can actually wheelie this thing. That is pretty cool. I'm still working on my wheelies, but that is something that you can do with the back. Folds very easily like you saw in the beginning of the video. It's not very heavy. Fold this down very quickly. You can put this in your car. You can take this in an office, inside a business, making this a perfect commuter scooter as well. Installation was super easy. All I had to do was put on the handlebars and the rear fender. This scooter has 1,000-watt peak power, a brushless motor, and it's even gonna have 52 Newton meters of torque. This scooter is also gonna feature 4 different gear modes, so the lowest being like 9 miles an hour, and then you can go all the way up to 28 miles an hour. So to have a scooter that goes almost 30 miles an hour is actually really awesome because that's very fast for a scooter. So depending if you're in a crowded area or not, you can definitely adjust the speed to make it work for you. Speaking of commuting, this scooter is going to go 28 miles on a single charge, and if you do have to charge this, it is a very quick system, about 5 to 6 hours, and this thing is going to be ready to go. That eliminates having to charge this overnight. So you can actually charge this midday and still be able to ride. Now let's go ahead and take a closer look. All right, so this thing looks absolutely gorgeous, and I'm gonna show you this screen here whenever you turn it on. So you do get 2 sets of keys and you just put it in there and turn it. So it does keep this as a safety feature that only you can unlock the scooter and ride it because you're gonna have the keys. Now once you turn that on, you're gonna hold in the power button and check out this display. That is such a cool startup. I'm gonna do that one more time. That has got to be one of the coolest startups I've ever seen. And I love how this is going to be a colored display as well. You're going to have the odometer, your average speed, your miles per hour, and then your volts and your battery life remaining. This is going to be your mode that you're going to be in. So you can change that right here, plus or minus, and you can see that going up. So that is going to be turbo mode. We have standard mode, eco, and then your walking speed. So that's going to be really practical. The screen is huge. This is going to be almost 5 inches. We're gonna have the front and the rear brakes over here, and they're gonna be a disc brake, so that is dual front and rear. We're also gonna have the headlight, so if you turn that on, you can see that that thing is shining, and you can actually adjust this too. So I do like that. You can bend this up and down and point it to where you need it to go. Also gonna get a horn for some attention. Very loud, and then this is going to come equipped with turn signals. So you are going to have a beeping when you hit the turn signal, and then in the back it's going to indicate where you're going as well. So I love that feature. In the front, it's going to have these like blue lights on the side. Not sure what that's about, but it does give you a little bit more form of visibility when you are riding this. And then one of my favorite parts about this scooter is whenever you hit the power button again, you are going to turn on these awesome RGB lights on the bottom, and this is a huge amount of space here, guys. This looks almost like 10 inches of RGBs. Now, I haven't been able to figure out how to change the different settings on here, but once you turn it on, it cycles through a bunch of different patterns, so it doesn't make it boring. It's really nice because it does just keep going and alternating all the way through. Gonna give you a ton of visibility, and people are definitely gonna be commenting on this and telling you how cool this looks. I love how it's kind of like a checkerboard race pattern too, so it just gives you that feeling that you're just moving really fast. Now check out these wheels. We're gonna have these huge 10-inch pneumatic wheels, lots of grip and traction on here, and then also the orange trim going on the outside. Orange over here with the metal, and we're gonna have this really nice shock in the rear. Again, some orange, and then another fender in the back. This right here is gonna be one of my favorite parts just to be able to stand on, and if you wanna practice your wheelies, you definitely can. Because you're even gonna have some grip on the back. Grips feel really good on the hands, and then the throttle feels really nice as well. It also has like a little bit of a taper 2, which I haven't seen many scooter companies do. So it's almost like your thumb kind of like stays on there and it doesn't slide off. And on this side of the scooter, we're gonna have the opening for the charger. And I love how it just automatically closed because this does have an IP65 waterproof rating on the brushless motor in the rear. So that's gonna be awesome. And then this is like so flush. I haven't seen anything like this before, so I'm loving the way that that looks. I'm actually gonna show you guys how to fold this. So we're just gonna put the kickstand up. I'm gonna pull up on this lever and push it forward, put a little bit of force on it. We're gonna pull this all the way down, and then that is gonna fold. We have this orange piece that we're gonna stick through the rear little foot piece, and then once you pull it up, it's gonna hook on. You can pull this up with one hand, two hands. It probably feels about 45 pounds, I would probably say. Definitely not crazy heavy, but still light enough to throw in your car. All you gotta do, push that back up, and then lock it in place. And this thing is ready to ride.
Now let's go ahead and ride this scooter and put it to the test.
All right guys, so here we have the VELOFLOW VF3, and this thing is absolutely incredible. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. So I haven't ridden this yet, and we're gonna go ahead and take this thing for a little spin. It is kind of snowy out, so we are gonna have this thing covered in snow. Wow. Okay, so right now we have this on walking speed. Suspension feels good. Let's put this up to gear 2. That's pretty nice. Looks like that one's going about 12 miles an hour. Nothing crazy, just nice if you're commuting. And 3. Going up a grade here. Seems like it's not accelerating hard, but it is. Okay, so now we're on flat. Ooh, not bad. Not bad. Brakes feel amazing. Torquey. All right, so that's standard. That's pretty nice. Let's see how fast that gets up to. 16, 17. I think it's supposed to go 18 or 19. Here we go, 19. Brakes are nice. Wow. Oh, that stops good. All right, so now we got this in turbo mode. Acceleration feels pretty good. Definitely nothing too crazy. It's not spinning tire or anything. We got some wet ground. We're going 22. Okay. Ooh, we are going on some snow here. These turn tools are very, very helpful. This is cool. It feels really nice. The LCD screen is very easy to see in the daylight. That's something that a lot of brands actually struggle with. Pops a wheelie. Oh! All right, let's try this hill out. This is a pretty steep hill. See if we can get up it. All right, we're slowing down a little bit, but this is definitely more than, I think this does, what, 25% grade? That's way more than 25%. I should probably measure that hill just so I know for future. Very nice and nimble. The suspension is probably the highlight about this scooter. It feels amazing and very soft. I would definitely recommend this if you ride on a bunch of bumpy terrain. I think this would do good off-roading and everything. If you're doing a lot of hills, I don't think this is going to be your best option. But if you are doing slight grades, I think you're going to be just fine. Little brake slide. Woo! Try to pop some more wheelies. Oh, I gotta get better at those. Feels so good and nimble. All right, let's go down this hill. See how this controls. Got both brakes here. Feels very stable. I love the wide deck. It's really nice. catch a little bit of air. I feel really comfortable on the scooter, I gotta say. And I like doing brake slides. That's actually pretty fun. I actually thought the acceleration would be a little bit more abrupt. It does pick up 10, 15. Feels good. Got the horn. Let's take a look at this. So we are covered in mud. We're covered in snow right now. It looks good. So honestly, from that ride right there, I would say that the torque doesn't feel as torquey as I thought it would, but the power's definitely there. It goes up to speed, just like it claims. I love the fact that this folds down. The suspension is definitely the highlight right now. So, don't have the lights on because it isn't dark or anything, but I'm confident the headlights are going to work just fine. I've seen something very similar in other brands and they work great, so I'm not worried about that. Everything's sealed off from the snow and the rain and everything, and the water. Saw me going down a little bit of snow here. Yeah, it's going through the snow. Let's see about this patch right here, starting off. Not bad. Oh, that handled. I didn't even have to put my foot down. Let's go try a top speed on this main road again. I really want to see what I can get this thing to. Takes a little bit of time to get up that hill. $28. Yep, max it out, 28. Right there. All right, so I'm gonna head back to the house and we're gonna go finish up this review. And I'm gonna give you guys my final thoughts.
All right, so I just wrapped up my ride on this electric scooter and I'm absolutely loving this. Some of my favorite features about this scooter is gonna be the LED screen that lights up. I love how it lights up whenever it starts and it is in color, very easy to see in the daylight, so that is super important to me. Also, my second favorite thing that I love on this scooter is the suspension. It is so smooth. Riding over bumps, jumps, any kind of terrain that is uneven, this suspension is probably one of the best that I have ridden. Third, I love the brakes. Anytime that I'm gonna stop, they hook up. Now these are disc brakes, they are not hydraulic, but when you press them, they hook up no problem because you have huge brake discs and they stop on a dime, so I'm really impressed with that. Now, I also love the deck size, very wide, so it's gonna suit somebody that does have big feet, or if you just like a little bit more room so you don't feel like you're crammed on your scooter, that deck size is going to be absolutely amazing. The fact that it comes with headlights, taillights, brake lights, a horn, and your own keys is just another bonus that I absolutely love. Going 28 miles an hour was amazing. That is a really good speed for the scooter, and it also does that walking speed, which is really handy if you're going to be in the city or anywhere that has like high traffic or crowded. The acceleration didn't feel as torquey as I would have liked, but I was still able to pop a few wheelies on this, kind of just like lean back, put my foot on the back and hit it in turbo mode, and it does pop up. So that is good. I would like to see the scooter be a little bit more torquey, but other than that, it gets up to 28 miles an hour. No problem. Feels good. When I was actually riding this, I was going up a pretty steep grade. Like the grade was probably like 35, 40%. So this was struggling a little bit, but they say in the description that this scooter does like a 25% grade. So to do what I was doing, I was pushing the scooter way harder, but that's what I wanted to do. I want to test it out and kind of see its limits. When I was riding about a 40% grade, I did feel like it was lagging a little bit, but that's expected. This still conquers hills. The bars feel really good. These are not going to be adjustable on height. I do think these bars are going to be at a perfect height to fit most people. Overall, I absolutely love the scooter, the RGB lights, the fact that it's waterproof. This thing is covered in dirt, grime, and water and snow as I was just riding it. Everything is just sealed up really nice. The scooter works, no problem. The lights still work, and I'm really impressed with that. It's really important to have a waterproof rating on a scooter too, especially if you hit a little bit of water or a puddle, or maybe you're riding in snow like I just did. I came up my driveway and I actually was able to ride up a pretty steep incline in the snow on the scooter. I didn't get a video of that, but I was really impressed that this actually rode in the snow. The tires are good for that reason. This scooter right here also hooks up with an app, so you can control everything within here. You can even lock the scooter, so if you go to move it, the wheel will actually be locked up and nobody can take it. And then you can just unlock it from a click of a button. On the bottom here, you can see you can actually turn the headlight on or off.
That is really cool. And then you go into more settings, and then you can turn on the cruise control. You got all the modes right here, and you can turn the taillight on, speed limit. You can change this from miles to kilometers, and then you can also change the start mode too. So you can do a push to start or the zero start. This is another cool feature. This is going to be energy recovery. So you can actually click this as low, middle, high. And what that will do is when you let off the throttle, it will actually have a little resistance on the scooter. And then while you are off the throttle, it actually charges the system back up. That's pretty cool. But you can also check fault codes, but there's so many things you can do within this app, and I'm glad that they have it. Overall, I highly recommend this if you're looking for a nice commuter or a scooter just to have a little bit of fun, ride some side roads, maybe a little bit of off-roading, nothing too crazy, but this thing can definitely do a lot more than I thought it would. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to see more content for electric scooters, e-bikes, and e-motos. I drop videos all the time of new stuff that gets released, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and also like this video because it does help me out, and I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.